This is Adrian's AI setter. How can I assist you today?
Hi, I want to book an appointment.
Great. I can help you with that. When would you like to book the appointment for? Can you please provide me with the date or day you have in mind? Also, could you please share your email address with me?
How about tomorrow, the 12th of December?
Sure. Let me check Adrian's availability for tomorrow, the 12th of December. Could you please provide me with your email address as well?
It's dave@gmail.com.
This will just take a sec. Good news. All time slots are available for tomorrow, the 12th of December. Adrian is free all day. What time would you like to book the appointment for?
How about 12 p.m.? Does that work?
I'm afraid the available slots are between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Would you like to book the appointment for 12 p.m. or should I suggest an alternative time within the available slots?
Could you suggest me some times?
I can suggest an alternative time within the available slots. How about 11 a.m. or 1 p.m.?
Yeah, 11 works.
Great choice. I'll book the appointment for you at 11 a.m. tomorrow, the 12th of December. Could you please confirm your email address, dave@gmail.com?
Yeah, that's correct.
This will just take a sec. The appointment is booked for you, Dave, at 11 a.m. tomorrow, the 12th of December. You should receive a confirmation email shortly. If you have any more questions
All
or
right,
needs,
okay. All right, so you can see the Slack message that came in. This is how it looks like. The time zone is correct, so from 11 to 12. However, in Google Calendar, it actually does an hour later. I think that's probably because of time zone issues with like GMT and stuff. But this is how it would look like. You have your Google Meet link. The email is correct, and then an appointment booking, as the description is said. Yeah, this time zone thing you can, I think, fix from the output here. You can just tell it to. Yeah, I think if you go into here, you can see the busy time slots that it converts. Busy time slot 12 to 1 p.m. So this, yeah, adjusted from 11 to 12 UTC. So yeah, you'd have to change that in the prompt. But other than that, it works. So yeah, that's the demo. All right, you've already watched the demo. Now I'm going to demonstrate the entire backend and how exactly I've built this thing, all the way from the kind of tech I use to the basic principles behind the system. Now, before we get into it, I really want to stress the difference between inbound versus outbound appointment setters. Inbound AI setters are basically where you call a number, and that way the appointment gets set. Outbound is basically the AI calls you. Outbound is good if you have a very high amount of lead lists. That way you can reach many people. And inbound is more like a receptionist kind of thing. Both have their advantages to them. The one that we'll be looking at today is a inbound appointment setter. So that's the system that I've built currently. If you have setters or you're looking to get some for your service, let me give you a rough idea of what you're in for. Now, they do come with limited working hours. At one setter, you're basically limited to 30 to 40 hours worth of setting efforts per week. And obviously, the more you hire, the more they cost, right? You could hire from freelance platforms like Fiverr or Upwork for cheap. However, they do come with their own set of problems like lousy reporting, most of them don't have SOPs in place or they're not professionals. And the risk of tarnishing your brand is actually larger than them growing it, which is the reason why you hired them in the first place. Most people also don't have retargeting and SMS flows. Call follow ups, all that kind of stuff is really, really important. And there's just no setting in place. There's just no practice for this kind of stuff. Usually they demand a whole lot of money in order to keep up with their living expenses, and they also cost a lot depending on how you pay them. So, for example, you could either have them on a base fee or a base plus percentage of whatever they give you. And this can get very, very expensive. And because of that, they always function the exact same way, right? The way humans think psychologically is you're incentivized by the things that you get rewarded by. So they are incentivized to maximize their commissions, while you, on the other hand, are focused on building your brand and just making sure that the ship is afloat, basically. Not to mention a plethora of other issues when hiring and keeping live appointment setters, such as putting your customers on hold, short working hours, conflicting time zones, etc., etc. So yeah. So if we could ask for anything in this world, in a fantasy world, what could it be? So our appointment setter would be part of a system that calls prospects automatically and consistently, a system that retargets, and some way of seeing through to the fact that they will actually show up to the appointment. So a lot of people just book in an appointment and then they forget about it like a day later. So this system actually guarantees that. Now, here is what I've built. Voice AI appointment setters with a backend workflow is probably one of the most powerful things out there for people that are looking to hire live appointment setters. Now, this leverages your time actually very well. With AI, there are no time restrictions. There's no office hours. The AI receives calls 24/7 and it will answer them and book an appointment subsequently. There's no upkeep costs where you might be paying a human setter thousands of dollars per month. With AI, you realistically won't go over a couple cents per minute of call. So it's a pay-per-use model, which is extremely efficient and, yeah, as I said, better compared to human setters. Not to mention the cost of constantly provider hopping. So if you're not happy with the way things are working out, people usually just switch from appointment setter to appointment setter or agency to agency. And this can cost you time and valuable effort. So another thing is voice agents seamlessly integrate into your existing workflows. If you have workflows set up, that can be really helpful. As said, with things like booking reminders and call follow-ups, this is really useful in order to keep you top of mind with them. Now we'll be creating the AI appointment agent on VAPI itself, integrating it with our Google Calendar, and then using Slack to actually notify the team saying, hey, you've got a new appointment every time someone follows through with the call, and then make.com to tie it all together. You may be asking yourself, how do you actually go about building this? We need to first take a look at the requirements of the system, right? So you want to be able to call an AI. The requirements are the AI needs to know the exact date and time, any like holidays or booked slots, aka when to book a meeting and when not to book a meeting. So for the actual build out, I use templates from a creator called Sanava. I'll link their channel. That's where I got the make scenarios from. And then I also added kind of my own things. Here is how it works. So we've got our caller who calls the AI, which is built on VAPI. Now VAPI then goes back and forth with Google Calendar to check the availability of the requested time slot. And it either comes out with one of two answers. So either the time slot is not available, and then it suggests a list of time slots that works, again, from checking the availability from Google Calendar, or the time slot that the user wants is actually correct, and it's greenlit, and then the slot is booked. Okay, once the slot is booked, here's where things get fun. Now, once the slot is booked, two things happen. One, you get a notification that the meeting has been set, and the person that actually signed up to the call actually gets a email reminder. I added this secondary thing because there's usually just not one email, but flows of emails. So you've got the option to extend, let's say, 24 hours before their call, or 2 hours and then 30 minutes before their call. And these are, again, things to really just increase that show-up rate. It's really easy to make one small shift in your system, and then you get a whole lot more qualified leads. All right, there is caveat. There's no placement filter. Usually with these things, there's like a qualification question or some way of filtering too many leads. With this system that I just built, there's actually not that many. I'm looking into making it. If you guys are interested, just let me know. You may actually end up with too many and or too unqualified leads and bookings in your calendar. So this might be an issue if you're dealing with a large number of people. Otherwise, this is very useful. So let's start with VAPI. This is the AI setter. Step one is obviously to ask the user to suggest a date for appointment. We want to ask them first for their preferred time slot. And yeah, the first half is basically running. And then at the end of it, you go to the check available tool, which is one of the two tools that I made. This is the check available one. This basically sends a webhook to the make scenario in order to communicate with Google Calendar to see if the time slot is available or not. And I'll show that in just a minute. And then if the user does want to book an appointment, the AI will ask for a name, start time of the appointment, email, and purpose of the appointment. So the intent of what the user wants to do. And then it confirms that and then uses the second tool, which is book appointment tool, to send out the webhook to tell Google Calendar, hey, you should reserve this time slot with this information that we just collected. So yeah, that's just sending out the webhook, and then this prompt is also available to you below, so you can just follow along. This is the second tool, the one that actually books in the appointment. We've got 4 properties: name, description, email, and start time, which is when the user wants to actually book in the appointment. If you have to go to the functions section and actually add the 2 functions that the 2 tools that you've created. And while making these tools, you can actually add in the make.com webhook. This is the first one. The check availability tool leads to this make scenario right here. Webhook, the information comes on through here. We have an OpenAI module, which will essentially extract the date and time that the user would like to book their appointment. This then gets parsed through JSON, gets formatted into the appropriate format. Next is this Google Calendar module, which you have the start time, end time, and then the calendar ID that you want to check the available slots from. This path right here is only followed if it's not the weekend. I've got a filter set up, which is if it is a weekend, we reject their offer for a call. And if it is the weekend, they do indeed end up going through to the next module. Now, if no events are detected, which means if the entire day is free, the webhook is sent off to say basically all time slots are available between start time and end time. Yeah, this is from the JSON, the parsed JSON, which comes from OpenAI. And if there are busy time slots that are found through this data structure, you would essentially go to the OpenAI module, which extracts the busy time slots, and then from there you can tell which are not busy. So you can tell the system that those are actually indeed available for booking. So this is the prompt right here. Pretty simple. These are the busy time slots from Adrian's calendar, which is from the JSON string previously, and each start and end pair represents 1 busy time slot. And the times that are not included in there will basically be available for reservation. And then this gets sent off with a positive status to the VAPI AI. So that is the check availability feature. Now we'll actually go ahead and take a look at the booking scenario, which is what happens when the assistant actually finds a time slot that works and then sends off that information to VAPI, from VAPI AI, gets a confirmation, sends it off to this webhook right here, which comes into this Google Calendar event. You need to map this to your calendar ID, but once you've done that, it's actually pretty straightforward. You can choose to do it in detail or quickly. This is what the detailed one looks like. So meeting with the name, which you'll get from the webhook data. And then start date as well. End date we don't need because we've already set the duration, an arbitrary duration. And then you can add a description if you want. You can add location if you want. Yeah, description, we're collecting the intent from the assistant. So why you're actually having that call, for example, a consultation call. And then if you actually go down, you can say attendee name and then email toggled on the Google Meet conferencing. So you can actually on the in Google Calendar, you can actually just press join meeting. And then here's the interesting part. Now 3 things happen. First of all, the webhook gets sent telling VAPI that the appointment was actually booked. So you can see one of the test runs that I did was actually booked in the appointment at this date successfully. Got a small delay here before the Slack message gets sent out. Now, again, you need to configure this to your channel, whichever channel you have. You can just make a new one called Meeting Setter or something like that. This is purely for Make to send in those notifications, so you're updated real time. And again, basic information like name, things like when the meeting ends and the time slots and all that. And then just a small message saying the booking and invite has been forwarded into your Google Calendar. You can experiment with blocks. I have heard they're like a nice way to format things, which is something I will be looking into. And then we've got our email. Now, the way I formatted this email was we've got a subject line like meeting, reminder meeting, consultation with Adrian, and then again we're using personalized names. This is all dynamic, so from the webhook itself. Friendly reminder that you have a call booked in with me at whatever the time is. And if you can't make it or want to find a different time, no worries. Just let me know and my assistant will handle the rescheduling. Looking forward to seeing you soon. This is just another way to personalize an instant message. This is something that most funnels actually lack so this is just another way of reassuring the your prospect. And that's it. That's pretty much how the booking side of things work. Let's go back to, okay. You may be wondering, what's next? What are the implications of this? Now, first things first, nothing is going to replace human skill and finesse, right? I just want to put a disclaimer on that because if you are an appointment setter, if you are in sales or if you are a DM setter and you're looking at this AI bubble of it basically taking your job, and you're watching this, you basically have two options, right? Like one is you can either use this to your advantage and learn how to leverage AI skills and then integrate it as part of your offer that you're providing to your clients, or you can level up your skill and acquisition and by experience basically outperform the AI. Yeah, and again, like nothing is going to replace that human touch. I mean, people at this stage, people still prefer talking to other humans rather than AI, especially for things like appointment setting. Yeah, so the reason I'm actually making this system is for people that have a high amount of inbound leads, very frequent first touch points to their business. And if you don't want to go out and hire appointment setters, if you want to have a reliable system that works 24/7 next to no running costs, this is literally a perfect opportunity. I mean, I know plenty of people that are working on this specific system. If you are dealing with volume, but you don't want the drag associated with accommodating that volume, like going out and hiring good setters or building out these systems for your funnel, this is indeed something worth looking into. And we're already seeing many companies in every industry that are quickly looking to implement AI into their operations. There's no better way to do this than through an AI appointment setter. So yeah, try it out for yourself. Everything that you may need is provided to you below. Yeah, remember, these systems are highly adjustable and customizable, right? Like you've seen, I've taken the base template that was provided to me and I've built email and Slack workflows on top of that, and this can also be like expanded out. Yeah, you just need to see how it fits into your operations and just customize each and every single component to your liking. In case you're looking to implement the system for yourself, or if you're wondering what other backend automations are possible in today's day and age for your agency, for your info product service, whatever it may be, feel free to reach out below. And as of January, I am going to be taking regular calls. So thank you, and I'll see you inside.